Have you ever felt the weight of being alone and isolated as an older person who lives alone? If that's true, then you're not alone at all. Some of the problems that come with living alone as an older person are keeping up with housework, making friends, and dealing with money problems. These are 7 of the hardest things about living alone, and this video will show you how to use them to grow as a person. Stay tuned until the end to learn some useful tips that will help you get through this tough time and build a better, more satisfying life for you and the people you care about. Don't miss the chance to learn how to turn these problems into a way to gain strength and learn more about yourself. Before we begin, I'd love for you to stay until the end of this video. There's a gentle, encouraging tip waiting there that could help you feel a bit lighter, a bit more energized. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you're always part of our growing circle. And if you're watching, say hi by writing, "I'm still becoming." Just a few words can carry a world of meaning. Now let's begin. Being alone is the most important thing. Some of the worst things about getting older alone are being alone and isolated. Older people can feel cut off from society if they live alone and don't interact with other people every day. According to Sarah, an old woman, her sad story went like this. "I remember the first winter I spent alone after my husband died. The house was so quiet it hurt my ears and the days seemed to go on forever. I wanted simple company, like eating a meal with someone or laughing together while watching TV. It wasn't until I heard all the noise inside the house that I realized I was by myself." Many older people can relate to Sarah's story, especially those who have recently lost a spouse or close friend. It can be hard to find the things that used to make you happy again when you don't talk to other people every day. This is because you might feel very far away from them. Sarah was able to get over her feelings of being alone, though. When she joined a local book club, she met great people who loved reading as much as she did. She was able to improve her life by meeting new people and having deep conversations after taking this seemingly small step. Sarah also liked helping out at the community center as a volunteer. When she helped with kids' programs after school, she felt like her life had a new meaning. The kids' excitement and energy made her feel better. Additionally, technology played a big part in making Sarah feel less alone. She set up regular video calls so that her children and grandchildren who live far away could stay in touch. Even though they lived far away, she felt very connected to them and involved by seeing their faces and hearing about their daily lives. She felt at ease and accepted because of these online meetings, which showed that love and connection don't have to happen in person. Adding social activities to your daily routine, even if they are only a little, can help you feel less alone. Sarah found that changing her daily routine to include social interactions and meaningful activities helped her get over her loneliness. Sarah turned her lonely life into one full of joy and companionship by reaching out, staying active, and welcoming both new and old connections. Finding community and connection is important, and her story shows that it is possible to find light and warmth even when you feel very alone. Concerns about safety are number 2. There are a lot of safety concerns about living alone, especially in an emergency when help might not be available right away. This problem is especially important for older people who are sick. As people age, they are more likely to have accidents or medical emergencies, making them feel vulnerable. Naomi, who has lived alone for a few years, talked about her experience. "This was a big worry for me, especially after I fell in the garden one summer. I was taking care of my flowers on a nice day when I tripped over a small garden tool. I was lucky not to be hurt, but it was a wake-up call. As I lay on the ground, I thought about how dangerous things could have been if I had been seriously hurt. There was no one nearby to help me, and the thought of being hurt and by myself was scary. Because of this event, Naomi took action to make sure she was safe. She chose to buy a medical alert system with a device that she could wear on her wrist. "Knowing that I can get help at the push of a button gives me peace of mind," she said. The bracelet has a small, unobtrusive button that goes straight to an emergency response team when pressed. "I hope I never have to use it, but it's nice to know it's there as a safety net." Naomi set up both a medical alert system and a regular check-in time with her neighbor, who is a close friend. "I text her quickly every morning to let her know I'm fine," Joel said. "She knows to check on me if she doesn't hear from me." This simple but useful system makes sure that someone always knows how she's doing. "It makes me feel better to know that someone is watching out for me," she said. "My neighbor and I have grown closer over the years, and this arrangement has made it even stronger. It shows how important community and friendship are." Naomi's story shows how important it is to be careful and set up safety measures when you live alone. People in similar situations can learn from how proactive she was. It shows that with some planning and the right tools, it is possible to lower the risks of living alone. Please comment number 1 below to let me know you are still watching this video with me and that you found these lessons helpful. Number 3, taking care of your home. Maintaining and doing chores around the house can get harder as we get older. Things that used to be easy and routine can become hard to do and physically taxing. Taking care of a house can become a big source of stress and anxiety for many seniors. This was Jane's experience, which she shared. "I used to be proud of how clean my house was. It showed who I was and how much I cared about my surroundings. But it got harder for me to keep up with everything as I aged. I can still remember a day when I felt completely overwhelmed. I stood in my kitchen and stared at the sink full of dishes. Then I turned around and looked out at my overgrown garden. I was angry and helpless at the same time. It was clear that I could no longer handle the same level of care by myself." Jane knew she needed to make changes, so she decided to do something to better run her household. To start, she moved to a smaller, easier-to-handle house. This move was important because it immediately cut down on the space she had to clean and maintain, which made it easier for her to do her daily tasks. "It made a huge difference that I moved into a smaller house," Jane said. "There were not as many rooms to clean and organize. In general, it was easier to keep things in order. It wasn't just about lowering my workload that I downsized. It was also about making my living space fit my current needs and abilities." Jane also knew how important it was to ask for help. She hired a nearby teenager to help her with her garden so that it would stay pretty and well kept without her having to do any work herself. In addition, she hired a cleaning service to do the bigger jobs around the house. "At first, it was hard for me to ask for help," Jane said, "but it made my life so much easier. Having someone take care of the garden let me enjoy it without having to worry about keeping it up. The cleaning service also did the things that were too hard for me to do myself. It gave me time to do the things I enjoy, like my hobbies and spending time with my family." Jane made a maintenance schedule to keep everything in order. The plan kept her on track with her work without making her feel too busy. She found that taking care of her home was easier and less stressful when she split chores up into manageable chunks and spread them out over the week. "It was important to make a maintenance schedule," she said. "It helped me keep things in order. I didn't try to do everything at once. I had a plan. Every day I knew what I had to do, which kept the tasks from piling up and getting too much for me to handle. Many older people are facing similar problems, and Jane's story shows them an important lesson. Making housework less stressful and more manageable by setting priorities and keeping things simple can make life a lot better." These steps, like downsizing, asking for help, or making a schedule that works, can make a big difference in how well we can take care of our homes as we get older. As a reminder, Jane's story shows that asking for help and making thoughtful changes are not signs of weakness, but ways to make your life more enjoyable and satisfying. Number 4. Stress over money. When you live alone, you often have to take care of all your own money matters, which can be very stressful, especially if you're on a fixed income. Keeping track of expenses without a partner can be very hard. Listen to the wise words and interesting stories that Janet told. I had to quickly learn how to handle our money on my own after my husband died. It was scary at first because I was used to working with other people on money matters. All of a sudden, I had to make all the decisions by myself. Making a detailed budget was the first thing I did. It made me feel more in charge. I carefully kept track of all of my spending, from food to utilities, and found ways to save money without lowering the quality of my life. For example, I learned that some stores in my area offer discounts to seniors, which was something I hadn't thought about much before. These discounts really cut down on my monthly costs. I also used resources in my community to get help with my money. Seniors can often get free seminars and workshops on how to handle their money, which I found to be very helpful. I also looked into government programs that are meant to help older people. I found utility assistance programs that cut my monthly bills by a lot. If you are on a fixed income, these programs can save you. I know that making a budget might seem like a chore and a lot to handle, but it made me feel strong and safe. Being able to see where my money was going and find ways to save it made me feel better about my money management skills. It also gave me some extra cash that I could spend on things that make me happy, like hobbies or little treats, without feeling bad about it. Managing your own money is tough at first, but you can do it with the right tools and info. It's important to ask for help and make use of the tools you have access to. On this journey, remember that you're not alone. Many people have been through the same things and can offer useful advice. 5th, health and well-being. It can be hard to keep your physical and mental health in good shape when you live alone. It's easy to break healthy habits when you don't have a reason to stay active or eat well. An older man named James discussed his problems and the things he did to solve them. There were days when I didn't feel like cooking for myself, and I neglected my exercise routine, he said. But I realized that taking care of my health was important for my overall health and long life. I had to make a change. To get back into shape after getting less active, James joined a local exercise class for seniors. This choice kept him in shape and gave him a good way to spend time with other people. The camaraderie and encouragement from my classmates were invaluable, said he. Everyone pushed each other to show up and do our best. The class was the best part of my week, and it helped me in both physical and mental ways. James also talked about how hard it is to eat healthy. He decided to sign up for a service that delivered meals specifically for older people. This made eating healthy easier and more fun. The meals were not only nutritious but also delicious, and having them delivered took away the hassle of meal planning and preparation, he said. This service ensured that he received balanced meals, which contributed to his overall health and vitality. James also took classes at the community center on how to cook. These classes taught him new recipes and rekindled his love for cooking. He said, "Making meals became fun again. I learned to make nutritious dishes that I enjoyed eating, and I even started hosting small dinners for friends, which brought back the joy of sharing meals with others." James also knew that keeping his mind active was important for his health. Doing puzzles, reading, and going to library lectures were some of the things that kept his mind active. These things kept his mind sharp and gave him a sense of purpose and accomplishment. For overall health and wellness, especially when living alone, it's important to make a routine that includes regular exercise, healthy meals, and mental stimulation. This planned approach to James's daily life helped him stay mentally and physically active and in touch with other people. His story shows how important it is to take care of yourself and how good it can be for your physical and mental health. James turned his life of being alone into one full of energy and happiness by making conscious efforts to prioritize his health. Please comment number 2 below to let me know you're still watching this video with me and that you found these lessons helpful. The 6th thing is emotional health. Living alone can be hard on your mental health, leading to anxiety or depression. Not having anyone to talk to and the constant silence in the house can make bad feelings stronger, making it easier for loneliness and sadness to grow. Mark, someone who has been through these problems, told his story. I had my share of dark days when the quiet of the house felt oppressive. There were times when the silence seemed to echo with my thoughts, which were mostly bad and too much. It was simple to feel alone and cut off from the world outside my front door. Mark decided to make big changes to his daily routine because he knew how important it was to keep a positive attitude. Engaging in activities that bring joy and fulfillment became my priority, he told me. That's when I fell in love with painting again. When I was younger, I always liked it, but then life got busy, and I forgot about it. Picking up the brush again felt like reconnecting with an old friend. For me, painting was a way to deal with my feelings, express myself, and find peace and creativity. Mark started to love painting again, and he also started to practice mindfulness and meditation. Practicing mindfulness and meditation helped me stay grounded and present, he told me. Because of it, I learned to enjoy the present moment instead of dwelling on the past or the future. This practice made my life feel calm and clear in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. Mark stressed how important it is to get professional help when you need it, saying that it is a sign of strength, not weakness. Talking to a therapist provided me with tools to manage my emotions and gave me a new perspective on life, he said. Going to therapy taught me that it's okay to ask for help and not a sign of weakness. Instead, it takes bravery to face your problems head-on and ask for help. This man's journey shows how important it is to take care of your emotional health when you live alone. Mark learned how to deal with the emotional challenges of living alone by doing things that made him happy, practicing mindfulness, and getting help from a professional. His story is a reminder that you can live a happy and fulfilling life, even if you are by yourself. The 7th thing is social stigma. Going through life by yourself as an older person carries a big social stigma. Society often sees it as a sign of failure or abandonment, which spreads false ideas about being alone and lonely. This stigma can be especially hard for seniors who are trying to figure out how to live on their own. The things that Agnes has been through shed light on this problem and give us useful information and suggestions. At first, I felt self-conscious about living alone, worried about what others might think, she said. I was afraid that people would think I was alone or that I couldn't keep relationships going. It was hard to get rid of those thoughts, but then I realized something. Living alone doesn't mean I'm a failure. It means I'm independent and strong. I need to be strong and brave to run a household, take care of myself, and stay involved in the world. Agnes was proud of her independence and knew how strong it was to live by herself. She stopped seeing her situation as a bad thing and started seeing it as a chance to show how strong and independent she was. Her change in point of view was a major turning point. I chose to enjoy the freedom and strength that come with living alone. I started to think about the good things, like being able to live my life on my own terms and being free to make my own choices. This way of thinking helped me see that living alone could be helpful instead of lonely. Agnes started talking about her experiences and successes because she wanted to change people's minds and inspire them. By talking about her journey openly, she hoped to fight the stigma and show how great it is to live on your own. Hey, I started a blog to write about my journey. I wrote about the problems I had every day and the little things I did well. The good comments from readers made me feel so much better. people began to understand that living alone doesn't mean you're lonely or unable to do things. It means you're strong, flexible, and growing as a person. Agnes's blog helped her connect with a group of readers who found comfort and hope in her writing. Many people could relate to her honest thoughts, which helped change the story about living alone in old age. Her writing gave other people the confidence to be proud of their independence. Take pride in your story and the life you've made for yourself. Sharing my story has helped change how people think about things. People began to realize that living alone can be a choice and a source of pride. The support and encouragement from my readers made me feel even better about living the way I do. The story of Agnes's journey shows how stories can help fight social stigma. By embracing her independence and talking about her experiences, she changed her own mind about living alone and helped other people see it in a new way. Her blog showed how strong and resilient older people can be when they choose to live alone, showing that this choice can be both empowering and satisfying. Eighth, there is a technology gap. Many older people find it hard to keep up with how quickly technology changes, which can make them feel frustrated and alone. It can be scary how quickly technology changes, making it hard to stay in touch with friends and family and interact with the world. But pay attention to what Clara said about getting past this problem. I remember being shocked when my daughter gave me a smartphone. It looked so hard to use compared to my old phone, which had simple buttons and an easy-to-use interface. With all of its apps and features I didn't understand, the new device felt like something from another world. I was frustrated at first, but I chose to take small steps to get used to it instead of giving up. I signed up for a basic computer class at the library to help me keep up with how social media technology changes all the time. The class was very helpful and helped me build a strong base. The teacher was patient and made sure that everything was clear by breaking down difficult ideas into manageable parts. We started with the basics, like how to use a keyboard and mouse, and worked our way up to more complex topics, like how to use email and navigate the internet. Getting my grandchildren to help me was also a great way for me to connect with them. They were happy to teach me new things. They showed me how to use different apps and told me how social networks work. Their excitement made me want to be there, and our time together became a favorite part of my week. I can see a whole new world now that I use technology. Through social media, I can stay in touch with family and friends, make video calls to see them even when they're far away, and take part in virtual events and classes that keep my mind sharp. I've done online book clubs, exercise classes, and even watched how-to videos on YouTube to try out new hobbies. It's never too late to learn something new, and staying tech-savvy is well worth the work. It has not only kept me in touch, but it has also improved my life in ways I didn't expect. I've found a lot of useful information, made new friends, and gotten in touch with old ones all online. Learning how to use new technology gives me a great sense of accomplishment and has given me more faith in my ability to adapt and do well in a world that is always changing. Please leave the third comment below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me and that you think these lessons are helpful. Number 9, problems with transportation. As you age, it can get harder to get around, especially if you can't drive anymore. Such issues can make it harder to get to important services and interact with other people, which can make people feel alone and dependent. Alice, an older woman who had similar problems, gave us very helpful advice on how to deal with them. After I decided it was no longer safe for me to drive, I worried about how I would get to appointments, run errands, or visit friends, Alice said. Public transportation in my area isn't very convenient, and I would rather not rely too heavily on family for rides. Alice wanted to stay independent, so she looked into other ways to get around and found a few that worked well for her. A ride-sharing app was one of the first things she tried. It was surprisingly easy to learn and Very reliable, she told me. I could schedule rides that worked for me, whether I needed to go to the doctor or see a friend. The drivers were always polite and helpful, which made the trip easy and stress-free. Alice also joined a local service that takes seniors to their appointments. With this service, she can easily get to important places like medical appointments and shopping trips because rides are scheduled ahead of time. The senior transportation service was a lifesaver, she told us. It provided a sense of security, knowing that I had a dependable way to get to important appointments. In addition to these services, Alice found that a lot of community centers offer free or cheap shuttle services for older people. These shuttles usually run on a set schedule and take people to places like grocery stores, community events, and social gatherings. The community center's shuttle service has been wonderful, Alice said. It's not only a convenient way to get around, but it also provides an opportunity to meet and socialize with other seniors. Alice has remained independent and active in her community by using these different modes of transport. She stresses how important it is to use all the resources you can find and not be afraid to ask for help when you need it. It's important to be proactive and find solutions that work for you, she told us. There are so many resources out there designed to help seniors stay mobile and engaged. There are some problems that come with being an older person living alone, but it's important to remember that every problem is actually a chance. We can live a full, active, and independent life by proactively dealing with these problems. Spend time with people who will support you, stay active, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Alice's story shows that you can deal with transportation problems and still live an active, connected life if you have the right tools and a positive attitude. We're grateful you spent this time with us. If you felt even a bit inspired, we warmly welcome you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Your presence matters. Here's something magical. Share your age in the comments. By doing so, you're telling the universe, I'm here, I'm growing, and I'm ready for more life. It's a small act with powerful energy. Take care, stay hopeful, and remember, your journey still has so much to offer.